Hi, my name's Random Tuesday, and in this video I'm going to walk you through my Alanna the Lioness, the champion of Tortal cosplay, or Tortle, whatever you happen to call it and pronounce it. These are based off of the Tamora Pierce books, the Song of the Lioness quartet, among many of them. This costume I'm going to walk you through all of the different pieces and parts. If you have any other questions or comments or queries about this, definitely head over to my website, randomtuesday.net, where you can find patterns, tutorials, and resources, and don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. The base layer of the costume is the undershirt, a sort of vaguely peasant-style skirt. I did construct it using non-historically accurate techniques, such as a machine and also curved seams. It's pretty basic. It's mostly a rectangle shape. You can get a pattern for this over on my website store. And overall, it's made out of a linen look fabric that has a little bit of texture to it and kind of a light cream color. The whole thing just slips on over the head. The next layer is the padded gambeson. Now, this was done partially for aesthetics, but also because I was going to be wearing about 7 pounds of chainmail, so it's padded to add some comfort. I added some extra padding in the body section, right around the shoulder area. The rest of it is just a single layer of quilting batting. So the outside is made out of a quilting cotton, surrounding a layer of quilt batting. And the basic structure is pretty rectangular. I added in these gores on the side to flare it out over my hip, and then it just snaps together in the front using some pretty big snaps. The next section is by far the heaviest and loudest layer, and was definitely in many ways the kind of central bulk of this costume. It is a chainmail hauberk that I made. It took about 7 pounds of chainmail rings. It is made out of aluminum rings at a 12 gauge with a 1/2 inch internal diameter, and I made the entire thing by hand. So for the most part, it's a big rectangle with more rectangular sleeves and then some slits at the side to go over the hips. I will be creating a tutorial on how to create chainmail. There's a lot of resources online, but it can be a little overwhelming and confusing. I did not make the rings myself. I purchased them from the Ring Lord. They have them in the gold anodized aluminum, so you can buy them in the color that you want, as well as a really big selection of other colors available. I definitely recommend them if you're looking at any chainmail or scale mail projects. Next up, I have a pretty basic black ring belt. It's very important to wear a belt with your chainmail shirt unless you want to actually feel the weight of carrying all 7 pounds, your small new chainmail metal baby. The belt helps keep some of the weight on your waist and move it to your hips, so you're not carrying all of it on your shoulders, which will definitely tire you out during the day. Now, I was also going to have a sword, so I have a frog as well, and this isn't a scabbard, but it does allow me to just slide the frog in and carry it around on my hip. Both the belt and the frog came from Dark Knight Armory online. This blue and white ribbon serves very little aesthetic purpose. I found it at a Ren fair. It is technically Conte color, so I figured, why not? She can have a favor from her king. The next piece that goes with the armor are the arm guards. So you'll notice I made my chainmail so it hits me at right about my elbows, which means I don't want to get my arm chopped off, so I made some fake bracers. These are made out of Worbla wrapped around EVA foam. I made the raised section with a second layer of Worbla. It was spray painted gold, and then I added some weathering using darker acrylic paint. And they are glued directly onto sort of a leather cuff that has a tie closure. Now with these, I also wear just a pair of worker's gloves that I happen to have that are brown. If I had some leather gloves available, I would definitely have done those instead. The other two accessories that I made for Alanna are her necklaces. So the first one, this is her pregnancy charm, which I just made as a disc of Sculpey that I then carved a bunch of runes that I made up sort of based off of Norse runes, painted the whole thing bronze, and then spray sealed it. So this is kind of her pregnancy charm that she wears. More important of her two accessories was her ember stone. This is a cast resin gem. I based it off of a large gemstone that I had available. I made a hole in it that was the size of a small LED light. So the LED light sits on the inside. The coloring on the resin was done using some orange and red inks, as well as some iridescent powder that was mixed into the resin cast. The gem top then just screws on top, and eventually it will light up and glow. The next major portion was her wig. Now, at the time when I started this costume, I had short red curly hair. I do not anymore, so I purchased a wig to go with this, which also does double duty on another cosplay. This is the Skyla wig from Epic Cosplay Wigs in copper red. It's a lace front wig, so I trimmed the lace front and then pulled back in some warrior braids, a couple of sections on the side, and then just style it in a low bun, pulling out a few little sections to kind of even out the hairline. I just wanted something simple that was the red hair color. I purchased some colored contacts to go with hers as well. Purple colored contacts are actually pretty easy to get in a couple of different brands. So you can buy those in a lot of places like 1-800-CONTACTS or lens.com. And the most important part to remember, if you are in the US, you will need to get a prescription for those contacts. Even if you're like me and you just wear Plano or zero prescription. The next two pieces that I made to go with my Lady Knight was Lightning and then her shield. We'll get to that in a second. So Lightning I based off of a wooden sword that I found at the Renaissance Fair. That fair was fairly helpful for me. The sword itself I then sanded down to kind of even out the finish, smoothed it out with a little bit of wood glue and a lot more sanding, then spray painted it in silver and used some rub and buff to add some highlighter. I reshaped the hilt of the original sword to be more realistic and narrower, painted this again with rub and buff and sealed it to kind of blend it in with all of this. The handle I wrapped in leather to even out and lengthen the handle. And then the end of it, this is two parts of sort of some plumbing PVC piping that screw together. So this part has the LED light in it, which lights up the end of this. So the LED light just gets turned on, if it's cooperating, and pops in the end to make this glow. Now this end was made in some Warbla and EVA foam stuck together. The inside were two large rhinestoney crystals that I took the backs off of and replaced those with some iridescent paper. Or iridescent clear film to kind of diffuse the light a little bit more and make them a more colorful gem. And then the LED light just sits in there and it screws onto the end, giving me my champion sword, which lives in my frog. And finally, possibly to me the most noticeable, besides her gold chainmail, an important part of this armor was her shield. I constructed this out of a base of foam core that I then curved and covered in a layer of Warbla to get this right sort of curved shape to it. And then wrapped the edges in EVA foam to give this raised portion around the outside. The back was just covered with a piece of black fabric to conceal everything, and a little bit of EVA foam here for comfort. These strap handles were made out of some pleather and glued directly to the base. One of them does not open, the other one snaps open because I cannot slide my arms through when I am wearing my bracers. So it grips on like this and snaps closed. And the shield was painted with red acrylic paint, silver acrylic, as well as rub and buff around the edges to give that silver coloring. And then this lion was painted by my wonderful girlfriend, Sour Fruit Junkie, or Steph MHC. She painted the lioness directly on here because I do not have this level of artistic skill. She used some yellow and gold and brown acrylic paints to create the full effect of it. Thank you for watching my Alanna the Lioness cosplay breakdown tutorial. If you have any other questions or comments, definitely head over to my website, randomtuesday.net, and check out the tutorials, resources, and patterns available there. You can also catch me live on twitch.tv/arandomtuesday. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates and information on cosplay, gaming, and other wonderful news. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, thank you to each and every one of my patrons who helped make this video possible and other videos like it. If you head over to my Patreon and can support me there, a small monthly amount can help keep these and many more videos coming. Thank you so much.